must be an engagement, and that engagement must be constructive, and in good conscience. Engage people and get to know. And if a government succeed, you understand, you see what we are having, the problem we are having in insecurity is a problem we are also having in revenue generation, because a government was able to bring up the revenue base of a state to a certain level, and just come one day you suspended everything and you want to start something new. My dear, I ask myself, these people say they are educated, but let them at least consult with the Harvard reviews on how governments are run, on how governments are operated, on how people take over from government and what they do when they take over from government. Yeah, you don't take over from government and start fighting the government.
Don't you think, because you would agree with every other person that each government comes with her own way of doing things, as you just did? Is that not the path that this current administration is? Well,
there is no comparison. If I bring up some points here, people will say because PDP took over from PDP under Okezie, and that is enough reason for a seamless handover and cooperation between the former governor in the person of distinguished Senator T.L.G. and then his successor, Governor Okezie. That is what people will say. But I am telling you, beyond that, when you take over, you understand, in our normal day-to-day work, if you occupy an office and then there is an internal or external transfer, you are leaving this desk to another desk. There is you understand, you get to know how that desk has been working. You understand, it is on the course of working that you bring in new innovations, additionally to improve the status quo. You understand, that is how government works, to improve the status quo. Because what happens is that if you don't do that, after some time you put yourself in a confusion and you start battling with your own misbehavior, misconduct, and then when you battle, you think that somebody is responsible for what is happening to you, but once you are the architect of your own failure.
So you're saying that at this point, the administration of Governor Lex Oti, there are things that he's not getting rightly in terms of taking care of issues.
No, you can interpret that for yourself. You can interpret that for yourself. For instance, security was working, security is not working. You come up, you on one day you suspend permanent secretaries, and you are not telling, they are human beings, you don't own the state more than them. They are not imported, they are not you understand, they are not Chinese, they are not Indians. You understand? And even if an Indian or a Chinese has a job to do in Abia, you understand, you cannot just disengage him in an improper way. You don't do that. They are Abians. You understand? Many of them have served the state for 30 years. They have served the state for 25 years. They have served the state for 29 years. So how come you just wake up one day, you say they have suspended, and they are not facing any internal disciplinary action? The civil service has a modus operandi. They have the way they work. In fact, they have their own internal discipline. The local government staff, we have the Ministry of Local Government and the Local Government Service Commission, which is responsible for their recruitment, which is responsible for their promotion, and is also responsible for the discipline of their own staff. So if you say a staff of the local government has committed an offense, you suspended him, and yet he is not having any engagement, disciplinary questions arising from the Local Government Service Commission, it means what you are doing is witch hunting.
Right, let's leave that particular issue and then address another development so far in the state. Following the state government's decision to expand the 3-kilometer road leading to Umuahia, the state capital, from the Enugu-Okigwe-Aba Port Harcourt Expressway Tower Junction, and 160 structures as a matter of concern have been marked for demolition. Abraham, what is your party's position on this move by this administration?
Good innovation, good idea. If I knew this question was coming, I would have come with a piece, with a document. Now, about 5 years ago, the government of Governor Ikpeazu set up a committee to expand that road because of the sufferings of Abians, the sufferings they encounter particularly during the Yellow Tide as a result of the influx of traffic, where people spend several hours on that road. It's a good idea. But why we could not carry out that job, there are things that has to be done first. And one of those things is, one of the things that has to be done is, you must do an assessment with a reputable agency recognized by law. And this reputable agency must carry out an assessment of compensation. That is assessment for compensation based on what is going to be demolished. Because you are talking of ancestral homes. You are talking of people's businesses responsible for their upkeep. These businesses are responsible for their upkeep of their family and their well-being. Now, it is when you have put in all these things in place, you determine that, okay, I'm going to spend 100 billion on compensation. You pay all the people affected and give them a period of about a year so that they can relocate, do a proper relocation. It is only at such a time that you can begin to put down the first block, which is an obstruction to the new construction. But anything less than that, of course, you are fanning the ember of another insecurity. Because the people, human beings, are created to respond to stimuli. If you cannot pinch me and I will just be laughing, I will react negatively. You understand? You understand? There are even graves along that road. All of them, you do compensation for the transfer of corpses of those graves, of those remains from one point to the other. And in Africa, in some communities, they are traditional rights to fulfill. It's not something you can just take people by surprise and say, you understand? So we, PDP, monitored the last stakeholders meeting that took place at the International Conference Center with representative of governments. The Commissioner for Lands and Yes, he's a representative of government, and then the OSA community and their leaders. And then we were very shocked when a particular question came up. That question was, when are you starting the demolition? And the answer was next week. And then the follow-up question is, when are you paying compensation? And the answer was, we will be discussing with His Excellency about that next week.
So is it not relevant talking about in as much as compensation has come in?
No, listen. Follow the sequence. The sequence here is, when are you starting demolition? I am starting demolition next week. You understand? Okay, just imagine a government action that will demolish this building containing Flow FM. Tomorrow, they will demolish this place tomorrow. Then after developing demolishing this building tomorrow, by 2 weeks' time, they will pay you compensation. Can you imagine the loss for Flow FM? Because what it means is that Flow FM will not be on air for another 1 year. The right sequence is that you pay for Flow FM the necessary compensation and give them 1 year to relocate and put up the radio station somewhere, put up their mast somewhere, and then inform the regulatory agencies of changes of address and the rest of them. And it is only at that time that you can begin to talk of demolition, not before. So sequence is very important here. Sequence,
and the government has not followed the sequence.
Yes, they have not followed the sequence. Okay, look at the federal government construction from Ohafia to Aruchuku. Now that road construction has been completed to a very large extent up to Nduduma and Woke at Ohafia. Now the next community is a community Amamiri and Umuchi at Ihechiowa. As I speak to you, all the affected properties They have already paid compensation to the owners. All for more than 1 year now, and construction is yet to get to that point. That is how this thing works. You are dealing with human beings. You don't kill a person before his time in the name of governance. You understand? This is a deliberate action by government to deal with some set of people for reason best known to them.
And that's your party's position on this?
That is the position of Abians. That is the position of the Osa people. That is the position of the Osa people.
Right. Let's move away from that, sir, because this is an issue that we'll keep monitoring and see what happens at the end of the day. Let's talk about your party.
There's something, the road, you see, the press, the press have a role in all of this. You understand? We will, at a point in time, some of us want to know the opinion of the press. What is the opinion of Flow FM on a certain matter? You understand? Because that opinion, because one of the rule of the media is agenda setting. Agenda setting. We want to come to a point where the media can say this is the right thing to do. You understand? Not bring people here and here and just pushing their own opinion without taking an opinion.
All right.
You understand? We want to see the opinion in the days ahead of Flow FM and other media organizations
clearly noted,
in Abia State.
Clearly noted,
on
Abraham.
This matter.
Abraham, clearly noted. Let's talk about your party at this point. We understand your party is at the tribunal.
Yes, we are.
From the governorship election. Where is your party at the moment? Talking about issues at the tribunal.
Our party at the moment, we are playing the role of opposition. And it is for the public to judge. And of course, Flow FM to also judge if we are playing that role very well. But we think that we are playing that role very well because based on experience, the issues when we criticize government.
Yeah, I'm talking about the matters concerning the governorship election.
Most of those, well, yesterday we received some witnesses from INEC and. Yes, from INEC. We received 2 witnesses, subpoenaed witnesses from INEC. They were brought in by PDP lawyers to testify to the court, and particularly on certain critical issues as it affects the fact that the Labour Party did not submit voters' register before the election. And INEC has cleared that yesterday at the tribunal and cleared several other issues. I would not want to go beyond that because of prejudice.
I understand that there is another sitting today.
Yes.
On that particular
I am going
matter.
there from here.
All right, no problems. The program is interactive, talking about the Abia Democrats. We'll make open the phone lines at this point. So you bring in your contribution. Let's know where you are standing on the issues raised this morning. 0808-182-6949, 0811-605-2949. Please be civil with your contribution. Good morning.
Hello.
You're welcome. Your name and location, please.
Thank you, Mr. Ben. My name is Mr. Chijoke from Bende Road.
All right.
I greet your guest. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Well, I thank you for your analysis. Well, it's unfortunate that PDP have now understand that they need to do the right thing in governance in Abia State. I am very surprised. And first of all, I want to ask your guest, let him tell Abians what happened in primary, Arachuku primary House of Assembly. He should tell us. That is one. Secondly, I want to tell your guest that time of politics has gone. We are facing a good governance led by Dr. Alexoti.
All right.
And he should not speak for Osa people because yesterday.
Thank you. You've used your.
So what I want to say is this: the new government is just 2 months now. The guest in the studio is not supposed to judge them based on what they are doing presently. For 24 years ago. ụmụadịa nọ na-achọ otu ha ga-eme onwe ha. You will agree with me. Mgbe ahụ e mere announcement this new government sebatara, e nwere a lot of jubilation because ndị mmadụ chọrọ mgbanwe na Abia steeti. Enwekwana m ajụjụ m chọrọ ịjụ guest nọ na studio ebe ahụ. Yama wụ vice chairman PDP Abia North.
All right, thank you for your contribution. Your contribution was well noted, but you used your time. Welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, Ben.
Your name and location, sir.
Yeah, my name is Victor in the book, and I'm calling from Monday.
All right, Victor.
Yes, I greet you.
You're welcome, Victor.
Yes. Yes. CDC was the last administration, and we are doing the work of the opposition. This is very well, because I know that opposition is good governance. Opposition is the government in power to do the right thing. That is my position. And again, as much as you are doing the opposition, I want you to be very careful in what you are doing, the work of opposition. The elections have come and gone, and we want good governance in our state. PDP was in power for quite a good number of years, and now that Asians have decided to
all right, Victor, you've used your time already.
Of the last election, I want you to give your challenges in the court.
All right, thank you, Victor. You've used your time already, and I believe you are speaking for yourself. Abraham, your reactions to these contributions?
Well, unfortunately, most of the issues raised are not in tandem with the issues we have been discussing. You will agree with me. Rather, there is, I see a subtle persuasion trying to inform the Abia PDP that we should keep quiet, that people should not talk, we should allow Governor Oti to continue to run the government because he was voted by Abians. Nobody should talk. They should allow him. In accounting, there's what they call it. They say it's a regular recording of business transaction in a systematic manner in order to ascertain the financial position of the business. And it is the same thing in what we call opposition audits in politics. When the opposition audits the government, they do it in a regular and systematic manner. In a regular. So if the government is there for 1 day, we audit them for their performance for 1 day. If they are there for 5 days, we are not auditing the governor's action for 5 years or for 3 years. We are auditing him for what he has done for now. The issues you have raised is as at today what the government is saying in the area of security, the road at Osa, and other issues. And that is exactly what we are responding to. And there is no manner or level of any attempt by any person or group of persons will stop us from carrying, because it is our own constitutional responsibility. It is our responsibility it is our responsibility to audit the government in power. As opposition party, nobody can stop us. If somebody is saying that allow the government to work, you must also allow the opposition to do their own work. Somebody was talking about the primaries of Aruchuku local government area. Unfortunately, he did not tell us whether he said he's calling from Bende, which means it's not from Aruchuku. And the Court of Appeal has ruled, you understand, if you are not a party to an election, you cannot challenge the election. We have carried out elections, our primary elections, they have come and gone. And we have constitutional provisions of action any aggrieved person can take. Those who want to cry and die, it is their business. You understand? In life, I have learned a lesson. That is, if I don't win today, I can win tomorrow.
All right.
Those who have lost today and want to die tomorrow, let them die. It is their business.
No, we don't.
You understand? It is their business.
We can't promote that.
If they choose that, excuse me, sir. If they choose that, that is, it's a simple point. You understand? If they choose point, you understand? You lose election. Buhari lost several elections. Even the OT, Governor OT today, he has lost several elections.
All right, Abraham.
You understand? So before now, so if people have lost election in primary in Abia PDP, you understand? And they have lost, they prepare for tomorrow.
All right, so that's the right way to go.
Let them
about
prepare
it.
for tomorrow.
All right, before we let you go this morning, in line with governance, what's the last submission? What do you have to tell the people of Abia State?
Well, we will assure them that in the remaining days of the Labour Party, that will continue to subject them to our opposition scrutiny.
All right, Abraham.
And that will do that faithfully and objectively without taking anything personal.
All right.
And of course, that we want the best for Abia.
Thank you so much. This morning on the Abia Democrats, I have been speaking with the State Acting Publicity Secretary of PDP.